How you doing, brothers? How you doing, sisters? Come on in, come on in, come on in to get some of this good content tonight. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We about to get rolling. How you doing, Sister Flo? I see you Joan Hancock down there. How you doing, Sister Deborah Scott? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. We got something good to tackle tonight. And I'm not talking about tackling with football. We got some good content to talk about tonight. It's not going to be long, but I'm going to jump on it pretty soon. So come on in, come on in, come on in. Come close, come close, come close. Because, brother and sister, I got something to lay down on you tonight. How you doing, mother? Come on up, come on up, come on up closer. Come on and get your bag of popcorn and get your soda courtesy of Sister Flo Harvin Martin. Come on up so you can enjoy the show, brother and sister. I guarantee you going to get something out of this content tonight. And I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. And you know, my brother and sister, I come to you and I don't come to you one-sided. I talk about men and I talk about women. It depends on what content I'm talking about. I might lean heavier to one gender than the other. So come on up, come on up. We got a few more seconds to go. And Brother Genesis, he's starting us out with some good kicking music. I hope that you all enjoy it because he get us crunked up every show. This is going to be a serious show tonight, my brother and sister. This is going to be a show that you need to consider if you're thinking about getting a serious, if you're thinking about getting a committed, if you're thinking about getting a covenant relationship. Come on in, come on in. We're about to jump on the content. Shortly, Brother Genesis is about to get out here with his music. If you're looking at it, me, brother, thank you, Brother Genesis, for kicking us out with this music. How you doing again, my brothers? How you doing, my sister? We are about to embark on Over the Hump Day. It's almost upon us, but before we get there, we're going to tackle a very unique subject. It's nothing that you never have heard of before, my brother and sister, but we're going to get on tonight. First of all, let me introduce myself. For those of you, this might be your first time watching the broadcast. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationships strictly between a man and a woman from a biblical position or perspective. I believe strongly that God created the man first, that man being Adam, and he had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, before he created the counterpart, he took the rib out of the man and he formed what is called a woman, and he represented the woman back to the man. And at that point, the man Adam said to God and to Eve, he said, "Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. This is a woman, because she came from man." Because Adam identified where the woman came from. If you don't believe in that, my brother and sister, still stay here and get something out of this content, because you can learn something with this content tonight if you have another approach to relationship. But I talk about strictly the relationship between a man and woman. Now, I got that out of the way. Now, my brother and sister, we're going to talk tonight. The topic is, what should a man or woman do if he or she get caught cheating? That's right. What should a man or woman do if he or she get caught cheating? And you know I got to say it a third time, because I say things in threes a lot of times. What should a man, brothers, what should a woman, sister, do if you get caught cheating? Now, when it comes to relationship, my brothers and sisters, my question is, have you, brother, or you, sister, ever cheated in a relationship? How you doing, Sister Shara? Have you ever cheated in a relationship? Some of you got to go way back, way back. Now, think, have you always been cheating on, or have you cheated on someone and it been vice versa? Sometimes you probably got cheated on, or you cheated on someone. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, what is the origin of cheating? Cheating is like any other thing that's negative, my brother and sister. We're going to start it off with James 1:14. James 1:14, for those of you that might not be familiar with it. This James, he is the brother of Jesus. That's right. Jesus had 4 brothers. For some people don't know it, but James, the Lord brother, he wrote this in the New Testament, and this is what James wrote, and it started with James 1:14. Again, it's James 1:14. James 1:14. It said, but every man is tempted. And when it say man, this is not only, it don't basically talk about only the male gender. It's also talking about the female, one man, okay? But it clearly said, but every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So the man have to lust and then he get enticed. Then after the desire have conceded, it brings forth sin, and sin when it is fully grown give birth to death. Be not deceived, my dear brothers, okay? So this is what we're talking about tonight. For those of you that are coming in, tonight's topic is, what should a man or woman do if he or she get caught cheating? Now, my brother and sister, a relationship doesn't have to be going bad to cheat. Some people think that a couple have to have a bad relationship for a man and woman to cheat. Not necessarily so, my brother and sister. Brother and sister, some people could be in a very good relationship. The relationship could be going very well, but it's something that can cause a man or a woman or both of them to step outside the relationship. And I'm going to prove my point shortly. So don't think a relationship got to be with a couple that the woman ain't getting all her needs met or the man ain't getting all his needs met. I just read to you James 1:14. It said, but every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. So men are drawn away with their own lust, the male, and then females are drawn away with their own lust and enticed. So the man and woman has to be enticed. It clearly in the Bible. And it said, after the desire have conceded, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it's full grown, give birth to death. Be not deceived. So it comes from some form of lust. We all, my brothers and sisters, me included, and all of you, you got some form of lust in your life. But the lust we're talking about when it comes to a relationship, and we're talking about a relationship between a man and a woman. Now, this topic is going to be very sensitive, my brothers and sisters. Today, it's going to be very sensitive, okay? Because some of you have probably been cheated on. And then some of you have cheated on someone. So it's going to be very sensitive. But first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. We're going to get this one point out of the way. According to Statistic Brain Research Institution, let me tell you something, my brother and sister. Listen to these statistics, okay? These are some statistics based on what I'm going to talk about tonight. 99% of Americans suspect that their partner cheat on them. 60% of spouses take part in infidelity in their marriage at least once during their marriage. 36% of men and women cheat on their partners on business trips. 57% of men accept being unfaithful at some stage in their lives. 54% of women admit cheating in one or several relationships. 36% of men and women cheated on their significant other with a co-worker. 22% of men cheat on their spouses at least once being married. 14% of women cheat on their spouse at least once being married. 90% of people have online relationship become addicted to them. People that we're into the social media age. So 90% of people have online relationship, they become addicted to them. They are likely to start a new one as soon as the previous one comes to an end. As you have noticed, my brothers and sisters, as you have noticed, based on these statistics by Statistic Brain Research Institute, as you have noticed, like I said, the percentage of men who cheat in a relationship is not much different from women. So that's it. So some people say, who cheat the most, men or women? According to these statistics, how you doing, Sister Keisha? It say men who cheat in relationship is not much different from women. So that's right. When most of the time when men cheat, most of the time it be with a woman. Most of the time when a woman cheat, it mostly be with a man. So it's basically come down to being equal, okay? Now the original question that I asked you, my brothers and sisters, What should a man and woman do if he or she get caught cheating? My question to you, my brother and sister, one question I want to ask you before I get into this content. How many of you brothers or how many of you sisters have cheated in your relationship with God? I'm going to take a sip and I want to know which one, how many of you, being honest, how many of you have cheated against God in your lifetime? I'm waiting. Oh, none of you have cheated against God, right? None of you have cheated against God. Some of you brothers and sisters that looking at me, you mean to tell me none of you all have cheated against God? Well, let me start it off. I'm going to be honest, even though you all don't want to be honest tonight. I'm going to be honest. I have cheated against God. In my lifetime, I have cheated against God because if I have a relationship with God and I do something to displease him and I have flirted with some things about Satan, I have cheated on my relationship with God. Now, I'm going to ask you all this again. How many of you, I have put myself out there, my brother and sister, how many of you have violated your relationship with God? Sister Lisa said, yes, we all have. Thank you, Sister Lisa. I see some more of you all out there, and all of you have been pure to God, right? Since you was a little toddler, you ain't never did nothing against God. You never hurt God. You mean to tell me only Lisa and we the only one that have hurt God? No one else don't want to raise your hand? I'm raising my hand, my brother and sister, because I'm trying to tell you something. Cheating starts from the inside before it gets to the outside. Cheating starts in the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotion. Then it's played out outwardly through the body. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let me get on because some of you all don't want to, you all don't want to come clean. You don't want to come clean. Now, the very first act of cheating, my brother and sister, the very first act is what happened in the Garden of Eden. That's where the first cheating happened, in the Garden of Eden. Check this out. Adam and Eve had a perfect relationship among themselves, and they had a perfect relationship with God. Adam had a perfect relationship with God by himself. Thank you, Sister Lisa. Eve had a personal relationship with God before God brought her to Eve. So they both had a separate relationship with God. Then when God brought both of them together, Adam and Eve together had a relationship with God. They had the perfect relationship. This is a perfect relationship. What broke that relationship up? Eve and Adam, they started having entertaining Satan. That's what they entertained Satan. Did God blame Satan for that? Adam and Eve had what is called a free will, and they was perfect. Adam and Eve decided to turn their back against God and go flirt with Satan. And they had a perfect relationship. Now I'm going to ask you, my brothers and sisters, again. Have you all had a perfect relationship with God since you've been on earth? Have you ever did anything? Have you ever participated in anything what Satan presented to you? Have you ever, bottom line, have you ever did anything wrong that displeased God? Have you? I see that everybody have been faithful to God from the time you was a 2 years old, a toddler, to this point. I'm going to keep moving on. Brothers and sisters, do not get into a conversation with your mate that is based on whether he or she have cheated unless you have concrete proof. Okay? When it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, don't get into no conversation with your mate until you have concrete proof. You don't go only by your feelings. You understand? Don't only go by your feeling. Now, some people, that could be a man or a woman. Sometimes a man and woman cheat, and then they think that their mate is cheating on them when their mate probably not cheating on them. That's how some people do. They cheat on their mate, and then they think that their mate cheating on them. The mate might not even be doing nothing. It's their conscience, right? But the question is, what should a man or woman do when he or she get caught cheating? Now, the natural thing that a man and woman will do is they'll try to hide. That's the first thing a man and woman would do. They would try to hide. So brother and sister, if you have cheated and your mate have concrete proof, don't lie. I know that's hard, because the natural tendency, whenever a man or woman do wrong, even the children, they try to hide what they have done. This is called getting your hand caught in the cookie jar. So my brother and sister, if your mate have concrete proof that you have cheated on him or her, and that man or woman presented to you, don't lie. I know you're going to want to lie. It's natural, because it's a thing about the flesh, but don't lie. Because the worst thing you could do after lying is cause your mate to get more furious and pissed off at you, because you are talking about, you trying to make it seem like they loony up here. You understand? So don't ever do it. Sister Lisa says it's over for us. Okay, but don't lie if you be confronted, my brother and sister. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be clean. You got to be all the way clean when it comes to discussing this thing, my brother and sister, when you cross the line, because it's a relationship. But first, get this straight, my brother and sister. Before you cheat on your mate, you cheated on God, because if you had a relationship with God, it affect your relationship with God first before your mate. If you go back to the story of King David, when King David committed that sin with Bathsheba, he did not get it. He even had Bathsheba's husband murdered to cover it up. See, David covered it up, right? So he thought everything was okay until this prophet busted him. And then what did David say? David said, I sinned against God. You see, David took responsibility. Adam and Eve did not take responsibility. Adam and Eve tried to hide. And then Adam and Eve tried to shift the blame, which I'm about to get to now. So don't hide, my brother and sister, if your mate come to you to discuss this, okay? Don't lie. Number 2, don't make excuses. If you, my brother, or you, my sister, have cheated in your relationship, don't make no excuses. Don't blame your mate because of something he or she did, because you, my brother, and you, my sister, you made a conscious decision. Now, some of you say, well, my man or my woman wasn't doing this or that or whatever. My brothers and sisters, you still made a conscious choice. Your mate did not push you out there to go be with another man or woman. You still made a decision. Now, your mate could have contributed to it, but brother and sister, when it get down to it, you made the final call. So if your mate, let's say your mate is clean, and your mate brought some evidence in front of you, and I said, don't lie to him or her. Don't do that, first of all. And then don't make no excuses. At this point, my brother and sister, you're supposed to own up to what you have done. And I know it's going to be hard. You have to own up to what you have done. And you got to do this in a sincere way. I know what I'm going to talk about is sensitive and it's not popular, because most people are going to want to lie, and most people are going to want to make excuses. They're going to want to make excuses because they think they're going to save their relationship. If it worked temporary, see, when you hide and when you make excuses, it's temporary. The temporary part could last for some years, but eventually you got to reap what you sow. So it's better to go ahead and handle it right now. Sister Lee said, once you cheat, you are no longer mine. You belong to her. I belong to him. I see your point, Sister Lisa. Next, number 3, when you are If you get caught cheating, my brother and sister, like I said, don't lie. Don't make no excuses because you made a conscious decision, okay? Number 3, give your mate time to be to his or herself. So when you actually fess up, my brother and sister, you don't know what's going to happen. So my brother and sister, if you are the one going to confront your mate, be prepared. The thing about it, can you handle the truth? My brother and sister, if you got some evidence and you're going to go before your mate, the question is, can you handle the truth? What if your mates decide to be truthful with you? What you going to do with it? You got the proof, now your mate validating it. You understand? Your mate is validating it. So my brother and sister, if you confirm that you cheated on your mate, you didn't hide, you didn't make no excuses, expect for your mate to probably lose it. He or she they're going to be angry. They're going to hurt. They're going to be upset. And they might want to throw some things. But the thing about it, be true, my brother and sister. Be truthful if your mate come to you with this, okay? And don't be cocky during this time. Understand? Don't be cocky. If your mate say leave at that moment, my brother and sister, the best thing for you to do is leave. Because he or she need time to his or herself. If your mate want to leave at that point because he or she is upset, let him or her leave. That mate need time to his or herself. What you do, my brother and sister, you apologize for what you have done. Apologize. Man up, woman up. Don't make no excuses. Don't hide. Just be sincerely and apologize to your mate. You made a decision to do what you did. It's just like on Judgment Day, my brother and sister. The Lord is not going to ask you what another person doing. He's going to ask you why you did what you did. He don't want to hear what other people doing. You're going to be responsible for yourself. And you responsible for yourself down here on earth right now, my brother and sister. So be a man, a real man, or be a real woman, and give your mate time to his or herself. Now, if your mate wants to work out your relationship, you might have to do some things that you don't want to do. You might have to do something what he or she wants you to do. Because you see, there's a trust issue that have been broken. The trust thing have been broken. And because the trust have been broken, my brother and sister, your relationship is never going to be like it once was. But it can be restored. And as a matter of fact, it could get stronger. It could possibly get stronger, my brother and sister. I know when it comes to this, and I'm not telling people to go out there and cheat and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you, it can be worked out. You got to understand it, my brother and sister. You, brother, have an imperfect woman. You, sister, have an imperfect man. Both of you all are imperfect. There's a possibility that it may happen. No man wants his wife to cheat on him with another man. And no woman don't want her man cheating with another woman. They don't want that. Most people don't want that. They want their mate to be true to him or her. But you got to understand that there's a possibility, my brother and sister, that it may happen. And when your mate is angry, hurt, and everything, after you apologize, don't continue to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Don't try to hold on to your mate. Give your mate time. However much time your mate need, give your mate time. If he or she want to leave, let them leave. They need that time. They have to digest what happened. If they want you to leave, pack up a bag or something and go somewhere else for some days or however long it takes till your mate get over it. Because your mate got to resolve. It's best, my brother and sister, if you come clean with your mate and your mate start processing that stuff. But if you don't come clean, it's going to be longer to process. That's why you go ahead and tell your mate the truth. And yes, the truth going to hurt because you violated the relationship and the truth may hurt. So go ahead and tell. Even if your mate asks you for details, and I know some of you all, you'll feel uncomfortable, but remember, you the one who cheated, my brother and sister. So if your mate asks you details and your mate have proof, come clean. Whatever question your mate asks you, be transparent. Ain't no need to hide the other part. If he or she want to ask, do it. But my brother and sister, if you are the one that have the evidence, don't ask too many questions because it's going to hurt already if your mate come clean and say, yes, I have done it, and I'm sorry. I'm telling you, my brother and sister, a lot of times, don't get into a lot of detailed questions about who it was and all that kind of stuff because you're going to hurt yourself more. Unless you want to go down that road, you could choose to go down that road. Because when it comes to cheating a man or woman, it's going to hurt. It don't only hurt the person that got violated. It could hurt the person who did it to his or her mate. Now, my brother and sister, when you be clean with your mate, when it comes to cheating, this both you brothers and sisters, when you be clean, you don't know where your mate gonna go with this. He or she might want to work it out. He or she may not want to work it out. But if he or she work it out, it's gonna be they might take you back. They may take you back. But if your mate gonna be very insecure during this time. And your mate gonna have to build up trust again. That's why I have told you, brother and sister, over and over again, never trust a man or a woman 100%. I always tell you all that, and you all agree. I said, don't ever trust a man 100%. Don't ever trust a woman 100%, because it's a man and a woman. Adam and Eve was perfect, but they failed. The only person you trust 100% is God. But you can have a high level of trust for your mate, but never put that 100% on him. Never do that. But you can have a high level of trust. Now, my brother and sister, if your mate take you back, your mate want to ask you more questions. So be transparent with your mate, okay? It's because if they want you back, then they might start demanding stuff. Whereas you probably been going to another room talking on your cell phone, and you have locks and stuff on your phone. If your mate said take the locks off and whatever, take the locks off. If you go in the bathroom with your phone or whatever you do, don't take it in the bathroom or nothing. If your mate, whatever your mate asks you to do and you want to work on a relationship, remember you the one who violated the relationship, so your mate is uncomfortable. And when you come clean with your mate, my brother and sister, the person that you were cheating with, cut them loose immediately. If you want to work it out with your mate, cut that person out of your life immediately. That means you don't see them no more. You don't take no more calls. You don't take no more texts. If they're on your social media, block them. Because you're trying to restore your relationship with your mate. That's if you want that person. Because a lot of time when people cheat, like I said earlier, some relationship, they be good. But then that lust or whatever kick in, and a man or woman can get enticed. So, like I said earlier, don't think that a person has to be perfect to, have problems to cheat. It doesn't have to go that way. Now, there are two movies, my brother and sister, that got two good examples of cheating. The movie number one is the movie where the man cheated. And I'm going to tell you the title, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of it. And then the movie number two, the woman cheated, and I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of that. Movie number one, that's Fatal Attraction. If you all have seen Fatal Attraction, the character, it was Glenn Close and Michael Douglas in it. But their character name, Michael Douglas was Dan Gallagher, and Glenn Close, her name was Alex Foster. Dan Gallagher, a New York corporate lawyer, and Beth Gallagher are happily married with a 6-year-old daughter named Emily. When Beth and Emily leaves time for what ends up to be an extended weekend, Dan, regardless of falling into a sexual liaison with Alex Foster, a woman he had just met. So, in Fatal Attraction, Michael Douglas, his name was Dan, him and his wife Beth, they had a good relationship. They had the American dream. They had everything going that way. But He cheated on his wife. And if you all remember that pivotal scene where he had to come clean with his wife, because a whole bunch, Glenn Close was doing a whole bunch of stuff. You remember Glenn Close was doing a whole bunch of stuff. So Michael Douglas had to come clean with his wife, and he said, I know who's been doing all this. And she said, who? And he said, and he told her briefly about this lady. And you know what his wife asked him? Do you love her? And he said no. When you watch the rest of the movie, it gives the impression that they resolved their differences and they stayed together. That's when the man cheated. Now the second movie, I don't know whether you all have seen this movie or not. This is the movie where the woman cheated. Richard Gere was in this movie, and it was called Unfaithful. Edward and Connie Sumner, who lived in a suburb of New York City with their son Charlie, had a relatively happy 11-year marriage. Although they both lived hectic day-to-day upper middle class lives away from each other, that takes away from their ability to spend time together. They decided to move from the city following Charlie's arrival into their lives. One day, in the city, Connie, Edward's wife, she meets a young Frenchman, Paul Martel, in a used bookseller by running into him. So his wife cheated on him. So I'm giving you an example, my brother and sister, of two good marriages. Two good marriages where the man cheated in fatal attraction and their relationship got resolved. And I gave you another example of the unfaithful where their relationship got resolved. Yes, there was pain. Yes, there was hurt and betrayal and everything. But these two movies point out the bad things that can happen in the best of relationship, and then they resolved it. Now, some of you brothers and sisters, you say that you can't do it. I understand if you can't do it, you can't do it. But my question to you, my brothers and sisters, is this. Have you ever done something against God and you had to ask God for forgiveness? Now, some people say, well, God is God. You see, God wants us to be like him, my brother and sister, not only on the relationship part, but God wants us to be like him. If someone does something against us, my brother and sister, we got to do like God does. God forgives. And God forget. And I know this is tough, but some people, you have exceptions to the rule. God put out a long time ago the 10 Commandments. If you believe up under the law, there's not one man or woman that kept the 10 Commandments. Cause if you break one, you break them all. Jesus came and he died for all our sin, because Jesus kept the law perfectly. No man or woman that lived before Jesus when he came to earth, no man or woman that lived while Jesus was here, and no man or woman that lived after Jesus went back to heaven have ever lived a perfect, stainless life. Every man and every woman, God right now, he could send all of us to hell. All of us are eligible to bust hell wide open. All we had to do is make one bad move, sin against God. But God forgave all of us, my brother and sister. And let me tell you this, my brother and sister, and I know this is tough. It's some tough teaching. If you can't forgive your mate, how you expect God to forgive you? Some said, I'm not God. That's God. No, you're not God, but God wants us to do that. If you can't do it, my brother and sister, you tying God's hands up. If you can't forgive your mate or other people, how you expect God to forgive you? You tying his hands up. Now, some of you people, you say, well, if a man or woman do this, they gone. I don't, and then some of you want to get into the punishment part. Don't punish your mate, my brother and sister. Let God take care of him or her. God going to take care of you. If you violate the relationship between your mate, remember, my brother and sister, you violate your relationship with God first before your mate. Because you have a relationship with God first before your mate. You're going to have a relationship with God after your mate. Whether your mate stay or go, you got a responsibility. Just like King David. King David, he admitted that he did wrong. But David had to go through the reaping and sowing process. And you, my brother, and you, my sister, you're going to go through the reaping and sowing process. So, my brother, if your wife cheat on you, don't call yourself having revenge on them. Don't do it. My sister, if your man cheating on you, don't go to the revenge route. Let God handle it. God said, vengeance is mine, I will repay. You still treat your woman good, brother. Sister, you still treat your man good. I know you don't want to do it because you are in the flesh. That's why when I'm talking about my brother and sister, you have to have the Spirit of God to be able to get through this kind of stuff. It's going to be tough. You understand? It's going to be tough. It's not natural. It's human nature a lot of times to want to hit back, to get revenge, or to get even. But most of the time, people don't want to get even. They want 2 for 1. You hit me one time, I'm going to hit you twice. That's the mentality of most men and women. But let me tell you something, my brother and sister, when it comes to temptation. It got in 1 Corinthians 10:13. Again, 1 Corinthians 10:13. 1 Corinthians 10:13. This is what the Lord word say. No temptation, my brother. No temptation, my sister, have overtaken you, except what is common to mankind. Everything that you see, my brother and sister, is common. What have happened yesterday, happened today. What happened today will happen tomorrow if the Lord allow the world to spin. King Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. And he talked about when it comes to human behavior. Now back to 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation have taken you except what is common to mankind. That's for you, brother, and you, sister. Now God is faithful. He will not let you tempt beyond what you can bear. You understand? God is faithful and he will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But with the tempt, he will provide a way out so you can endure it. So my brother and sister, what is this saying? Even if you're about to do something that's against God, he give you an opportunity to turn around. So my brothers and sisters, let me tell you this. When you're headed somewhere to meet up with someone, God giving you an opportunity to turn around. When you see your phone go off and you see that person's name, God giving you an opportunity not to answer that call. When that man or woman texts you, God giving you an opportunity not to respond to the text. When that man or woman try to reach you through Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, God giving you an opportunity not to do it. He always give you a way out. When we decide to do something, brother and sister, God always give us a way out if you have the Spirit of the Lord. Because guess what? God's Spirit going to be talking to you while you about to do something. Like if you're going to meet someone, my brother and sister, when you're going to meet someone, the Spirit of God, he's not going to shout at you. He's not going to shout at you. He's going to say something like, turn around. Don't go there. Don't go there. And he said, you think you're strong, right? You, brother, you think you're strong. You could be around a woman by yourself, right? Some of you sisters, you think you're strong too, right? You're not. No man and no woman is strong when it comes to the flesh. The flesh is weak. Jesus said, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus said, what did Jesus say? The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The Lord Jesus said that. Brothers, sisters, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. What are you going to follow? Are you going to follow the Spirit or are you going to follow the Lord? We're talking about from a conscious level. Before we do anything, my brother and sister, if you have the Spirit of the Lord, he's always going to be talking to you. Sometimes you think you're talking to yourself. A lot of times the Lord be talking to you, your spirit, to you. He's talking from your spirit, his spirit to you. Because the Lord living in you and he be communing with you daily. Even when you sleep, the Lord be talking to you. You just have to listen. No, He ain't no hardly do this. He's not going to hardly call you on the cell phone. He's going to be talking to you inwardly. You understand, my brother and sister? So whenever you get tempted, the Lord is not going to let you be tempted above what you can bear. He will give Satan the opportunity to tempt you sometime, but Satan have a limitation. God always set a limitation. That's what he means by he will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. Because he always have a way out for you, my brother and sister. So to tell you the truth, none of us have an excuse whenever we do something, especially against our mate. We don't have no excuse. We could use excuse over and over again, but we really don't have one. If we choose not to do something, we could do it. It's going to be hard because you're living in the flesh. And those of you brothers that just got into Christ, let me tell you something. A whole bunch of stuff going to be coming your way, especially if you got a good relationship with your mate. A whole lot of stuff going to come your way. If you're trying to live in a good relationship, my brother and sister, Satan don't like it. If you got a good relationship, Satan know what you like, brother. He know what you like, sister, and he going to bring it on. Brother, he going to bring some women on, and he going to bring them right over your face, in your eyesight. That's how he does men. He bring the eyesight. What he does for women, he bring on men to talk in your ears. That's what he do. Satan know what you like, brothers. He know what you like, sisters. You're going to have temptation in your relationship. It's a must that Satan tempt you, but you don't have to give in. It's a choice, my brother. It's a choice, my sister. So what should a man or woman do if he or she get caught in cheating? You don't hide, don't lie to your mate, don't make excuses, give your mate time. If your mate want to work through the relationship, work with your mate, and don't say nothing like you need to get over it. You got to give your mate time. Your mate got to have time when you do stuff like that. Because if it was done to you, you would need time to resolve it. You have to give your mate time, my brother. You have to give your mate time. And then you have to say, is my relationship worth it? You see, the main thing about some of you people, you put your mate on a pedestal. That's why if your mate does something like that, you shatter. You want to hang yourself. You want to walk out in the middle of the highway and get hit by a truck. How you doing, Sister Nancy? You want to go out there in the middle of the highway and don't look both ways. You want to hang yourself because your mate cheated on you. The reason why you can't take it is because you put your mate on a pedestal. You look at your mate like he or she will not do nothing like that to me. That's where you go wrong, my brother and sister. You never, ever say what your mate will or will not do. And you better not say what you will or won't not do. Because I can tell you this, my brother and sister. Some of you have said to yourself, I'm not going to do that. Some of the things, look back at your life, my brother and sister, and something that you said you wouldn't do, you did it. You did it. Paul said in Romans, when it comes to sin, Paul was struggling with it. Paul said some things that I don't want to do, I do it. I want to do right, but I do wrong. So what was Paul talking about? He was talking about the spirit and the flesh. So what did Paul say? With his mind, he served the spirit of the Lord. But with the law of sin, he served with his flesh. We talk about two thinking processes, my brothers and sisters, okay? So if you want to work it out with your mate, by all means, try to work it out. Because remember, my brother and sister, we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. All of us. I'm not making no excuses for men and women cheat, but we all have came short of the glory of God. And with that said, I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. I hope that you all have a good night. Lord willing, hopefully I can see you tomorrow on Over the Hump Day. I love you. I love you. I love you. Peace out.